Importance of fish nutrition. So, fish nutrition is very important to sustainable development of aquaculture, and it also helps the fish growth and health, and it ensures the balance of portions. Number two, importance of feeds in aquaculture. So the importance of feed in aquaculture is important because it contains energy and nutrients that have essential to the growth, reproduction, and health of aquatic animals. Number three, so why do aqua feeds need to be environment friendly? In what way? So it helps reducing uneaten food and the excretion of ammonia, and help in the maintaining the quality of the water. So number four, explain the major consideration in formulation of feeds for sustainable aquaculture. So nutrients requirements and feeding behaviors of fish, because process of combining different ingredients in properties to provide the fish with proper amount of nutrients needed. Number five, explain the sustainable approaches to aquaculture. It focuses on environmental, economic, and social sustainability to improve the capacity building and utilize um, land effectively for the aquaculture sector. Next, why are the amino acids called the building blocks of proteins? Number six, because amino acids are formed of long chain of acids with amino, that's why it called building blocks. And also, are building blocks of protein, and also because protein is the long chains of amino acids, and also amino acids are the group of organic compounds that combine to form protein. Number 7. What are the 10 essential amino acids? So, the 10 essential amino acid is arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, mm, threonine, tri- tryptophan, and valine. Number 8. Explain the classification of proteins in terms from solubility, form, and physical properties. So, may fibrous proteins, it's simpler structure than glo- the global proteins. So they are present in animals. So it also resistance to mm, digestive water to break down. Example is yung collagen. Next is globular proteins, include all enzymes, antigens, and the hormones proteins. It also soluble in water. Conjugated proteins, it yield from non-protein as ano ba? as well as amino acids hydrolysis. Ang example ng conjugated protein is yung egg yolk. Number 9, the importance of amino acid profiles in fish nutrition. So amino acids are needed for growth and for maintaining life, and it also helps rapidly growing of the fish. Number 10. Define the term lipid. Name the two major functions of lipid. So, lipid is it is a substance that is insoluble in water and soluble in organic compounds. So, lipid is an important component of living cells. The two major names of function of lipid is storing energy and structural component. So, number 11. What are the important types of lipids? So, these are the important types of lipids is um, triglycerides, phospholipids, and esterols. Number 12. Why does the type of lipid required for warm water fish differ from cold water fish? So, because cold water fish is um, much have higher level of fat rather than warm water. 13. Which among the fish species studies requires more than N6 rather than N3 fatty acid? So the species is salmon. Number 14. Differentiated between saturated versus unsaturated fatty acid. Saturated phase is lack double bonds between the individual carbon atom. It tends it tends to solid animal sources. Unsaturated fatty acid is at least one double bond and in the fatty acid chain, and also it usually liquid and from plant sources. Number 15. What are the function of carbohydrates? It is the primary source of the energy. Number 16. Distinguish between lipid and carbohydrate. So, both are function to store energy, but lipids would have synthesized their sources while carbohydrates undergo catabolism. Number 17. Give three classification of carbohydrates and give one example of them. So, meron tayong three classifications of carbohydrates. Isa na dito yung monosaccharides. Ang example niya is yung glucose. Next is disaccharides. Ang example niya, sucrose. Next is polysaccharides. Ang example naman ng polysaccharides is glycogen. So, number 18. What carbohydrate types in the principal component of the ano? exoskeleton, and crustaceans? So, chitin. Composed of chitin usually hardened with calcium carbonate. Number 19. Name the important binders for aquaculture feeds obtained from seaweeds. So, the important binders na makikita natin dun sa seaweeds is yung alginates, agar, carrageenan. Number 20. If lipids gives twice of much energy of carbohydrates, why there should carbohydrates be included in the diet? Because carbohydrates through it contains less energy but it yields quiet rapidly, and its simple forms like glucose that are reducing sugars. 21. Name some good carbohydrate sources in fish diet. So these are some good carbohydrates. We also know that carbohydrates is the most economical dietary energy sources. So these are some good carbohydrate sources in fish diets, including carrageenan, agar, starch, and alginates. 22. Explain briefly the balance equation. So, it is the relationship between the energy consumed measured in calories and the energy expended also measured in calories. 23. What is ATP and what is its function? So, ang ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So, it is the source of energy for use and storage at the cellular level, and it provides the energy needed for many essential processes in organism and cells. 24. Give three examples of energy requiring biological process. So, yung una is energy release in small. Pangalawa, soluble. Pangatlo is involves a single simple reaction. 25. What are the factors that influence the energy requirements of aquatic animals? So, water, temperature, metabolic rate, and consequently maintenance energy requirements. 26. Define the term vitamin. What is the general function of vitamin? So, vitamins it is a group of organic compounds which are essentials for normal growth and nutrition and required in small quantities in the diet. So, vitamins is helping to growth and development. 27. Distinguish between lipid-soluble and water-soluble vitamins. Name the vitamins that are lipid-soluble. Name the vitamins that are water-soluble. So, the difference between water-soluble and ano ba? The difference between water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins are water-soluble vitamins are quickly absorbed with the excess being released, and fat-soluble are slower to dissolve. 28. What vitamins plays an important role in calcium and phosphorus metabolism? So, it plays an important role in calcium and phosphorus metabolism because vitamins um, vitamins function by stimulating intestinal calcium and phosphorus absorption by stimulating bone calcium mobilization. What are the three group of minerals? So, ang una is yung metal, pangalawa semi-metals and non-metals. So, yung metals, ang example ng metals is iron. And yung semi-metals naman, ang example nun is yung mercury, telluride. Then yung non-metals is, ang example ng non-metals is yung hydrogen. 30. What are the general functions of mineral? So, minerals is, minerals may serves as component hard tissue, activation and component of enzyme system, formation and maintenance, and regulation of acid-base balance, maintenance of osmotic balance, and intermediate in protein synthesis, transport of oxygen, and absorption of vitamins. 31. What correlation between the anatomy of digestive tract and feeding habits of fishes? So, a strong correlation between the anatomy of digestive tract and feeding habits is herbivorous fish that depend on fibrous foods such as phytoplankton and macrophytes and differ from anatomically, behaviorally from carnivorous of fish that consume meat. 32. What are the types of feeding behavior of fish in their natural habitat? Herbivores, so, detritus, feeders, carnivores, and also omnivores. 33. Describe the steps involved in. So, yung ina is yung protein digestion. So, protein digestion, involved in protein digestions, pepsin is stomach enzymes that serves to digest proteins found in ingested food. Next is yung lipid digestion. Include gastric lipase, pancreatic lipase, carboxyl ester, hydrolase or bile salt stimulated lipase. And carbohydrate digestion is the enzymes breakdown that carbohydrates in the gut of tissues are carbohydrates. 34. Discuss the factors that may affect digestion and absorption in fishes. So the factors that may affect digestion and absorption is consider that feeding frequency and food amount are the key factors that influence the digestion and nutrients absorptions absorption. So yung yung ang nakaka-affect sa digestion and absorption ng isda is yung feeding frequency and yung food amount